What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane back again with another Grownish breakdown. In this video, we are breaking down episode 8. Let's get into it. In this episode, we are talking about the cancel conversation, picking up where we left off from episode 7. At the end of episode 7, Luca actually tweeted out that Esme, Zoey's fashion designer internship mentor, actually stole Zoey's design and released this jacket in her line as her own design without giving Zoey any credit, and Luca wasn't having it. He realized that Zoey wasn't going to actually speak up for herself and say anything about it, so he decided to do it for her. Luca. I mean, this episode definitely provided additional clarity. I understand why he did it. It makes sense. He was definitely trying to support Zoey and honestly hold the fashion community accountable. Esme has a lot of power and prestige within this community, and while she was trying to fight off the appropriation and the stealing of ideas or intellectual property in the start of that episode, she turned around and did the exact same thing to her intern, which was not okay. I feel like ultimately, why the hell didn't we just make Zoey on the design team? Like, why didn't we just integrate her designs? If you like what she put out, like, ask her for some more things, and like Zoey gets to fulfill this internship, gets a little bit of design credit and all that jazz. You get to get a popping line. Sarah, like, why have to be all that? But of course it doesn't go that way. So many things pop up in this episode, but ultimately Zoey stands up for herself. Esme basically wants to fire Zoey but doesn't want the blowback or the continued cancellation of her if she were to fire her. So she basically talks her into firing herself. But when Zoey realizes this, she comes back and she demands for her design back, the prototype, and then decides to walk away from the internship. By the end of the episode, we don't know what's actually going to happen, because when Anna asks Zoey, like, what are you going to do with the jacket? She's like, absolutely nothing, and then goes and hangs it in her closet. And I'm like, Zoey, you don't get your behind on GoFundMe and raise some money for you to be able to go into production with this jacket and use this support and all of this stuff that has come around this whole thing to sell a few more of them jackets and figure out and at least come up monetarily, sis? No, nothing is not the option, because not only do you not have an internship now and you need this internship credit to be able to graduate, but this is the least that could happen for your time, and then that will also move you forward within your fashion designer career, girl. So like, we ain't gonna do nothing with the jacket and let it sit in a closet. We're not gonna do that. And while Luca and Aaron are fighting over Zoey and defending her and all of this kind of stuff, y'all need to be fighting over the fact that she needs to go ahead and push forward and create her own line. Like, do something that's actually going to really help her. While I understand the sentiments of what was behind what Luca did, and he wanted to stand and support her, and with Aaron as well. Aaron basically calls out Luca in this episode because he put Zoey in this position that she didn't necessarily want to be in. But then also Aaron got a little tinge of just insecurity around Zoey and their relationship, and then Luca stepping in it anyway. But Zoey is right. Them coming to her defense when she's not asking for it and not allowing her to fully live her life and make her decisions the way that she wants to do it is a problem, and it's controlling and it's manipulative, and they need to stop it. Like, you can love someone deeply and want to influence their life and want to influence their decisions for the better and want them to walk into their best selves, but you cannot create or make decisions for everybody all of the time. And in this case, when Zoey communicates this to Aaron, I'm like, girl, you're actually 100% right, so I can't even say nothing different. Now the next step is, which we don't know because Zoey kind of walks off from Aaron and they kind of left on a stalemate, which they should be fine with in their relationship. It's just going to be a little bit of tension. I think the next thing for them is to actually support Zoey doing things for herself and actually soliciting her thoughts and feelings around something and respecting those and supporting those. Like, there's definitely a time and a place to push your friends to step out there on faith and to go for things and to stand up for themselves and do more. But if it becomes a repeatable pattern that you disregard how they feel and what they want, then you're no longer pushing your friend to be better, but you're just trying to run their life. Before I finish this quick little breakdown for episode 8, I got to mention Jazz, who has been entertaining the co-track star that she was starting to find attractive and have feelings for. He is actually a fluid member on the sexuality spectrum, and while he comes across very, dominant and charming, a little bit of aggressive, a little bit of a charm and swag to him in certain moments, and you could definitely see parts of this whole like male ego thing. By the end of the episode, when he arrives at this event wearing a dress, Jazz is more than taken aback. and uncomfortable. And she's almost confronted immediately with the idea of like him not being attractive anymore. And I'm just assuming this because of her face, because she doesn't really say much. You could just tell that she's startled. And honestly, I love the conversation that they're starting with this. I love that more people are actually integrating this conversation into their series, their content, and their movies. So I think it's something to discuss. I am of the camp of I don't necessarily want to date a man who's wearing a dress either, but now that these shows are talking about it and we're having these conversations, I'm interested in really fully understanding all that's going into it. While I want people to show up as themselves in their full expression of themselves, I could totally see where Jazz is and it's uncomfortable, and I cannot wait until next week. But that is my full breakdown for episode 8 of Grownish season 4. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, join the tribe so that you don't miss any of my Grownish updates. And I would love to know what you thought of this week's episode. Drop it down in the comment section below and I will reply. We can chop it up and go into depth a little bit more about some of the themes and topics that they talked about. If you missed any of my Grownish videos, you can check them out right here on my Grownish playlist. And if you're looking for something new to watch, I got 2 suggestions for you as well. It's your girl Erica Vane, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.